Good morning, traders. It's 8:01 a.m. Chicago time on the 30th, not the 29th. The title is wrong, as Mike here pointed out. Thanks for the catch there. It is the 30th Thursday of December. Uh, Again, it's 8:01 a.m. This is episode number 2141. Derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Now, you'll have to excuse me today. I'm coming at you with about 3 hours of sleep, newborn issues, just crying all night long. It's amazing. Anyway, it's my fourth, but it's like it's a new thing every time. But the overnight posture of the market currently, as we come into the session, is basically almost exactly the same as it was yesterday at this time, except Europe is positive versus negative yesterday. If you recall, the Euro Stoxx 50 were down about 60 basis points. The DAX was down about 53 basis points, something like that. Today, those are up, and the rest, the S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, and Russell, are basically the same as yesterday. We're trading the same numbers. We're regurgitating and repeating the same stuff. So not much on deck in the news in the Wall Street Journal this morning. As I was skimming through, the thing they're bringing up is the labor numbers are going to be very closely watched. The headline says the labor market strong recovery could slow early next year, some economists warn. And so jobless claims will be closely watched in the coming weeks for any signs that the Omicron variant is making people nervous about leaving the house to work or shop, triggering layoffs and causing some workers to quit their jobs to delay their return to the workforce. I think it's a little bit mainstream media-ish in the way they describe it. It makes it sound like it's like such a big deal, but as we already know, Omicron is not really having a huge impact on productivity or earnings or the economy or spending or earning so far, because as much as it is many-fold more infectious, the symptoms and the hospitalization rates are not that high. So, although hospitals have been busy, today, that's what we have. We have Bitcoin and Ether sitting sideways. Bitcoin and Ether came off yesterday as expected. Crude oil really taking a turn higher. Crude oil spiked up on the inventories number yesterday and came right back to the SOC, and it's sitting sideways today. The S&P has a multi-distribution profile, has only traded about 85,000 contracts. It's quite light. It's about half of what we would normally get outside of the holiday season. The overnight inventory is quite balanced. We have a 17% long inventory coming in with 19 and a quarter points. So pretty much vanilla blah type of situation coming into today. Yesterday's trading was basically the exact same as the day before, except it took out the low by 2 ticks, and it was a lower high. There was a lower high as well. So not much to say here. No trades for me yesterday again. In terms of the calendar, we do have Chicago PMI, which can be a mover. Chicago PMI expected at 9:42 Eastern for private subscribers, 9:45 for the public. It can be a mover. And then this evening, a high tier number, excuse me, a high tier number for China, the MBS manufacturing number, manufacturing PMI. This could be a mover at 8 o'clock Eastern. So this is where we stand today. There's really not much for me to cover today. Not much for me to say. We did not get any of the scenarios that were expected yesterday. Let's take a look at what we expected yesterday versus what we got in our review segment. Yesterday was looking for a choppy open to test lower, impulse up, and then start to push. If you recall, 48.15 was the number I was looking for. 48.15 above. The secondary is a test up, break down below the mid, and then start to move towards 70, which it looked like we were doing yesterday. We looked like we were getting scenario 2. And then I was looking for it to drop through down to as far as 47.55. It didn't do so. It put in a lower low. The prior session low is 70.50. And yesterday it put in a 70 even low. And then it pushed to the other side. It's been pretty quiet. You could see that we finished in the middle. We traded pretty much inside of the prior session's range. The overnight session tonight for today's session is inside of yesterday's session. The value area is valid this morning. The value range is 47.87 and a quarter down to 47.75. So 47.76 to 47.87 is basically where we're at. And we're just holding sideways as we are drifting on top of this MC point of control that we've created at 47.77, is it? Let's see, master levels, 47, I don't know where it's tucked away in there. But it's really balancing up here. It's not moving away from the all-time high. It's not selling. It's not buying. It's sideways. And tomorrow's the last day of the year. So expecting a potential last-minute move tomorrow, although you're going to find that volume is incredibly low today. The participation is low. Heck, the viewers this morning, the numbers for the viewers are very low this morning. So that speaks for where we stand coming in. It's really not expecting too much. Yesterday, the delta was sideways as it was the session before. And since then, on this 30-minute chart, we have continued to sell off on a reopen, and we've consolidated sideways. We've consolidated sideways through most of the Asian session right here, and then we've popped higher, and now we have a second distribution. So again, we're coming into a multi-distribution profile, which is what we've done for the last couple of days with 47.84. 47.85 actually being the line in the sand in between them. That's really it. There's not much more I can offer here in terms of an overview. Looking at what things look like in a bigger picture on the Edge Pro X overview chart, you can see that we have pushed away and are just flagging near the highs. In the S&P, in the Dow. The NASDAQ remains relatively weaker, and the Russell is quite weak. The Russell yesterday, as the S&P was trading in an open auction in range, completely choppy and sideways, the Russell was dropping. There's a lot of weakness there, and it continues to be far off from its most recent high. In terms of the metals, completely sideways. Silver is taking a bit of an upward skew, a trend channel, and the treasuries are trending, treasury futures trending lower, putting pressure on interest rates to the upside. Crude oil ultimately filled in the 75 area. The next big area to test in crude oil, it was 77.02. That's that low there on a equalized contract adjusted basis. 77.02. Yesterday's high was around 77.30, and it came off, and then it's holding up here. So we are battling the next key resistance in crude, and not much to say for natty gas. It's just holding VWAP for the foreseeable future. Currently, the world seems to be well supplied with natural gas. Let's take a look at what's expected for today and keep this a short one. So what are we looking for today? The primary scenario, really more of the same. We are opening inside of yesterday's range, basically inside of value, just above value, in range above value, with this 85 area holding the low volume node, the overnight low volume node, the full session VWAP, full session mid, all sitting in this area. I expect an open auction on the open. I expect it to pull back to 83, 84, 83, drift back up to the overnight, and then squeeze to try to test this 98 area. We may see that break today of the 4,800. And of course, once it gets to 4,800, the next level up I'm looking for is 0350. It's the next stock zone, and 15. The ranges have collapsed. No surprise there. But I expect it to consolidate and really chop around this century figure. So expect a pretty choppy trade if we push higher. The secondary scenario is looking for a push lower. The reason the primary scenario is pushing higher is because the trend is your friend and we're not moving away from the all-time high. So I expect it to continue higher at some point, to break higher at some point, unless there's a major news event. Secondary open auction out of in range, right on top of the point of control. Squeeze that overnight high, come back in, overnight point of control again, and then test the second distribution, pull back to 83, 84, and then start to push towards the overnight low, and then hold steady in what is likely to be a relatively choppy trade. Again, I'm not trading this morning. I'm just not fit to trade. It isn't worth it for me to, it'd be easy for me to get upset if things don't work out. I really need to take a nap or something. I'm very tired. So I'm not going to push it. It's the end of year. This is a great time to focus on looking at how the year went for you, week by week, month by month, quarter by quarter, and to start to decide what you want to see happen next year. Set some goals based on the performance this year. Look at what you need to do. What areas do you need to work on, and how, in terms of getting improvement. If you're tracking your performance, and this is why it's key to track your performance, the first thing you should be getting out of that information is what you're doing wrong. And the best place in my experience, whether you're a prop trader, I used to do this with my prop traders, as I talk about it now at Convergent Trading, the best thing you could do is to eliminate errors. Figure out what things you are doing that are causing you to commit errors, and you should know what the cost of those errors are, and it should be your focus to eliminate those errors. Very important. And then let the upside take care of itself. Look, if you can eliminate errors and cut those losses, you will, in my opinion, you'll eventually get the confidence to be able to hold on to the wins. As long as you keep committing errors, it is really hard to trust that you'll do what you're supposed to do, and therefore it's hard to do what you're supposed to do, which is to cut the losses quickly and hold winners. I mean, it's so easy to say, it's very difficult to do. So focus on that. This is the next, today and tomorrow, last days of the year before we come back Monday. And we do have big moves in January. We've had big moves in January for the last 5 years. And you come in with a plan and a way to see improvement for your effort. Good luck. This is brought to you by EdgeClear. We'll talk soon, and I'll be here tomorrow. And if you're not, I wish you an absolutely fabulous 2022. First and foremost, I wish you all amazing and good health. Without our health, we have nothing. Doesn't matter how much money you have or what you've done or what you own if you're not taking care of yourself. So I wish you great health. I wish you peace, and I wish you prosperity in 2022. Hopefully you'll see your trading goals come through and you realize that financial independence you're after, and hopefully you'll find a way to do what you love to do and to do it perfectly. That's if I don't see you tomorrow. You'll hear the same message tomorrow as the last day of the year. I'll catch you then. Good luck, mind your risk, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.